Let's say I have two ultrasounds here. One is an ultrasound of a baby from a loving marriage. The other one is a baby conceived in rape. Which one is which?
We can't exactly tell.
So they're both human beings?
Sure.
Right.
They both deserve human rights.
Sure.
Okay. But then what is if someone pushes back against with the idea?
That's a very tough one when it comes to abortion debate. So let's continue watching the video.
All right, next question.
All right. So I would like to ask you about for abortions, right? How do we explain to those who are for it? How do we explain that even I don't know if you believe this or not, but in terms of like a rape or unintentional or really unconsented pregnancies, can we say that we should still be anti-abortion in that scenario?
Yes.
What's your grounds for that? And how would I explain it to someone else?
Sure, it's a good question. Let's say I have two ultrasounds here. One is an ultrasound of a baby from a loving marriage. The other one is a baby conceived in rape. Which one is which?
We can't exactly tell.
So they're both human beings?
Sure.
Right.
They both deserve human rights.
Sure.
Okay. But then what is if someone pushes back against with the idea? Do I? Oh. What is if someone pushes back with the idea that now, in terms of the mother, right, one of them was willingly conceived while the other one was a forced conceived?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair argument. The question then should be, when, if ever, in your moral universe, is it okay to do something evil after an evil act to try to make that evil act correct?
But how about in terms of, what if we're in the position of the mother, and she is, I don't want to take the risk of illness, death, or whatever to have this child.
Sure, so it's a little bit of a false choice because they're acting as if the termination of the pregnancy will have no consequences or costs. A lot of women that get abortions have regret. Women die when they get abortions. They have a lot of their health issues. It's not just like getting a haircut. So it's a little bit of a false choice. But we come after it from a very basic moral argument. There are two lives involved. There's a little life and a grown life. And no one has the right to eliminate a human life in utero, period.
So then at that point, now we're forcing someone to do something that they never consented to, never wanted to do. How isn't this violating their human autonomy?
Well, again, but eliminating the human being would also violate the baby's autonomy too, wouldn't it?
Well, then we would have to ask, right? Maybe in future years we will have the technology to be able to extract a fetus and grow a fetus outside of the uterus. But given our state of medicine right now, we do not have that.
Sure. I mean, but again, no one is delighting or rejoicing in these circumstances. I mean, it's a terrible situation. I want to reiterate that. But you have a unspeakably difficult choice that is very morally, clear though, which is that you don't eliminate a human being because an awful action happened.
Are you saying that as someone who can get? Well, I guess my pushback against that would be then if we say that it's entirely wrong, right? We're sacrificing someone's choice for someone's life, which is admirable, but
it's also morally correct. You don't get to murder someone smaller than you if it makes your life difficult.
But then we can't exactly see. The fetus does not have autonomy. It cannot exist outside of the uterus quite yet.
Human dignity does not correlate with dependency. So dignity and dependency are not two things corrected. You have human dignity because you're a human being, not because how dependent you are.
So would you say that viability happens when...
Viability is irrelevant.
So then at what point does human life begin then?
Conception.
Conception, not even sperm or
That's conception.
eggs? Okay.
That's conception. That's
well, I just wanted to get
when an egg is fertilized. When an egg is fertilized, human life begins.
Okay, so then when it's still a single cell with both chromosomes pairings, right?
Well, it creates new DNA, right? So once the sperm and egg meet, literally something magical and inexplicable happens where new DNA is formed.
Okay, and then what happens? So then
it attaches to the uterine wall, and I can go through the whole gestational process. But.
All right, so then we have the basis of human life. Now, what is if within the uterus, now that life is still alive, but is unable to proceed to, like, let's say actual birth due to some medical situation that has happened.
Well, has the baby died without outside intervention or with outside intervention?
Let's say that
is it an ectopic pregnancy or what? You got to be very clear about the type of.
The amniotic sac has ruptured.
That's an ectopic pregnancy, right? So
Right.
yeah, you can remove the baby from that situation without aborting it. The baby will die outside of the womb, but you
Right.
do not have to abort it. So those are two different things. The removal of a baby is what's called a cesarean section. You can do that very early on. Now, ectopic pregnancy is very real. It's very terrible, but you can solve an ectopic pregnancy outside of having an abortion.
But okay, so then what creates an abortion? Is it the heartbeat, the removal of the fetus? What exactly
Well,
is
so
that?
I don't want to go too deep in this. Do you know what happens in an abortion? I mean, maybe you don't. They literally will break the back of the baby's skull, right? They will insert to the back a syringe of cyanide poisoning until the baby no longer. I mean, this is one of the most gruesome things. Everyone who's pro-choice, in my opinion, has a moral obligation to watch a video of an abortion just to know kind of what you're supporting. It's so beyond inexplicable. But yeah, look, really quick, what's the final question on this? Because I want to keep moving.
Oh, sure. So you didn't really finish the question of when can we do that procedure, right? If there's still a heartbeat,
I don't think we should ever do that procedure.
what happens if, like, now the mother's life is going to die in, like, the
Well,
next
it depe-
15
it depe-
minutes, but the baby is still having a heartbeat? What do we do at that point?
It depends on, again, I don't want to speak to every specific. Some OBGYNs say abortion is never medically necessary. I'm not a professional enough to say that. But it depends how far advanced the woman is. If she's past 22 weeks, have a cesarean section. Try to have the baby live in NICU.
So there are situations where abortions are okay, right?
Well, no, I'm not even saying okay. Again, I don't know enough about some OBGYNs that they can defend their statement here. They will say abortion is never medically necessary. I'll allow them to defend that. I don't know enough about the details there to be able to say that.
So you're saying that you do not have a statement of whether abortions can never be true or always?
It is murder. Whether or not an OBGYN can prove to me, of which there's a lot of debate, it is ever medically necessary. So take, for example, if a baby is 26 weeks and the baby's, the mom's life is in danger, deliver the baby by C-section. Don't terminate the baby. Does that make sense?
Yes, I
The
kind
baby
of
can
see-
survive outside of the womb.
Okay, at that point, yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next question.
Well, that's a tough question, asking, because those are things that happens to people, you understand, day by day, and then all those things, women go through some of these things. But in the situation, you understand, when it comes to, you understand, rape, that is where, you understand, some of us, you understand, might feel that, well, keep it, well, why not, you understand, take it. But I'm trying to kind of look at it, you understand, this very aspect that at the time that maybe probably that very unconsensual, you understand, sex, you understand, cannot take place, is it not, you understand, possible, you understand, for maybe probably the woman to at least take maybe probably plan B, you get, so that you don't have to wait, you understand, until, you understand, we kind of discover that, you understand, she is pregnant before she start thinking about, you understand, whether she want to go for abortion, you understand, or not. But nevertheless, you understand, these are things that do happen, and then that is why, you understand, there is a great penalty, you understand, when someone, you understand, is being caught, you understand, raping, you understand, an individual, because, you understand, it's actually, you understand, a big crime, because in this very situation, you are now kind of subject the person, you understand, to do what they are not supposed to do, because we as human, of course, you understand, we all have plans and things that we want to do. But nevertheless, you understand, when it happened, just like how you heard, you understand, Charlie, you understand, says, religious wise, you understand, religion, you understand, will not, you understand, encourage us, you understand, for us to go for abortion, you understand. Instead, you understand, we are being advised that we should rather, you understand, keep the baby, because the baby also have right, you understand, to live. Nonetheless, we as Christians, you understand, we all believe that, you understand, everything always happens, you understand, for a reason. There's no coincidence, you understand, to things like that, you understand, happening. When they happen, it means that they are actually, you understand, part of God's plan, you understand, towards, you understand, our life. Of course, things like that, you understand, may happen. Of course, they are hateful. It's not something that maybe probably you as a parent or you as an individual, you understand, you would like to experience it before you know how bad it is. We all know that, you understand, it's a very bad thing, but then it's just left to us, you understand, as parents, you understand, what do we install into the life of our children? What do we say to them? Because there are some factors, you understand, that normally cause people, you understand, to go into that. And then sometimes could be, you understand, maybe probably how, you understand, we appear when it comes to, you understand, to appearance, how we dress, and then how we communicate, you understand, to people. We just have to be very modest, you understand, in everything, you understand, to do, you understand, and dress just as how, you understand, our religion, you understand, have encouraged us as a woman. And then also parents have to also install, you understand, to their male children, for them to understand that this is a bad act, and then they have to look at another woman like their sister, and then if they look at it, you understand, as their sister, at that point in time, I think that we will not be here talking about, you understand, some of these abortion, you understand, cases, even though there are a lot of, you understand, exceptions. There are people, you understand, who are mean to others, you understand, and just decide, you understand, to hurt, you understand, people by subject them, you understand, to this kind of situation. But nevertheless, you understand, may God continue to protect us all and guide us, you understand, to make, you understand, the right decisions and not to make decisions that will hinder us from making it to eternity. Well, I welcome your thought and opinion, you understand, at the comment section, and may God bless you as you do so. So have a wonderful day and goodbye.